Hi, boys and girls. This is Ms. Kathy. I'm so happy you've joined me today for another story just for you. Do you ever feel left out, like your friends want to be with someone else instead of you? What if you really needed those friends to help you solve a mystery? Chris and Maria discover an old safe in their grandparents' basement, but no one knows the combination. Who gave them money to build the cross above Mill Valley? Chris and Maria think the answer is inside the old safe. As they follow the clues, Chris learns some important lessons about friendship and jealousy, and about being a Christian. Chapter 9. Great-Grandpa Archer's Old House. At just that moment, Mrs. Vargas opened the front door. "Is everyone ready to search for clues?" she asked. "Yes!" Chris started to run out the door with the rest of the Shoebox kids when he remembered his backpack. He hurried back inside and grabbed it from beside the front door. "We might need the flashlight, and I always need my notebook and pencil." He grabbed the statue of the archer, too, so he could show it to everyone. Maria and Chris climbed into the van next to Willie. Behind them, Jenny and Dee Dee and Sammy and Ryan were taking up the back seat and making a lot of noise. Chris took the archer out of his backpack and passed it back to Ryan and Sammy. "Wow, this is great," Ryan said. He touched his finger to the tip of the arrow. "It's not very sharp." Dee Dee sighed. "Does everything have to be dangerous for boys to like it? Let me see it, Ryan." Ryan passed the statue along to Dee Dee. She frowned as she stared at it. "I think he's ugly," she decided. "Does everything have to be cute for girls to like it?" Ryan teased. 10 minutes later, Mom drove slowly past the house while the Shoebox kids pressed their noses against the driver's side windows. "I'm going to pull into a parking lot up here and turn around so when we park we won't have to cross the street," Mom said. "That sure is a big house," Dee Dee commented. "Yeah," Sammy agreed. "Are you sure we can go inside?" Mom jingled a set of keys together. "Here's our ticket," she said. "Pastor Hill borrowed these from the mayor just for us." "I'm not so sure I want to go in," Jenny said as they pulled up in front of the old house. "It looks scary." For a minute, everyone sat very still and quiet. Then Ryan spoke up. "Come on, let's go." Mrs. Vargas led them up to the front door and unlocked it. She opened the door, but let the Shoebox kids go inside to the living room by themselves. "Remember, this house belongs to the city. Don't disturb anything. If you need me, I'll be walking around outside, remembering this old house, Chris." "All right, Mom," Chris replied. He turned to the Shoebox kids. "Let's go search for the combination." "Wow, this house is big," Jenny said. "I wish my house was this big. I could have 3 rooms of my own." "You wouldn't like it for very long," Sammy and Willie said at the same time. They both laughed. "You'd get tired of cleaning it." Jenny looked around again. The place was very dusty. "Yeah, I guess so. I didn't think of it that way." "Where should we look for this combination?" Dee Dee asked. "Are there any papers or boxes of stuff to look through?" "Not that we know of," Chris answered. "The only things left here are the walls and the furniture." Chris walked out into the middle of the living room. "I don't think this is the best place. There doesn't seem to be anywhere to write a combination that the other owners would not have discovered or covered up somehow." "What if he scratched the numbers of the combination into some woodwork somewhere with a knife?" Ryan asked. "I don't think so," Willie answered. "You know how adults hate it when someone scratches on a desk or table." "It was just an idea," Ryan said, shrugging. "It was a good idea," Chris said, "if we just knew where to look." Maria walked over to the bottom of the stairs and looked up. "I think the best place to look would be where Great-Grandpa's study was, where Mom said the safe was." "Right," the Shoebox kids agreed. "Let's go." Willie rolled over and looked at the long flight of stairs. "It won't take all of us to search one room. You guys go ahead." Chris slid off his backpack and pulled out his flashlight. Then he handed the backpack to Willie. "Can you hang on to this?" "Sure," Willie said. At the top of the stairs, after waving down to Willie, everyone spread out to look for Great-Grandpa Archer's study. "It's the room with lots of bookshelves," Chris reminded them. Maria opened a door and peered inside. "This isn't it," she said. Sammy and Jenny didn't find it either, in the 2 rooms they looked in. Chris went to the far end of the hall and slowly opened a door. "Hey, everyone, this looks like it." It was a little darker inside than Chris hoped it would be. Turning his flashlight on, he stepped inside, shining the light back and forth. One whole wall was lined with bookshelves, just like Mom had said. Fancy woodwork crossed the edges of the ceiling and circled around the window. "See anything?" Ryan asked as he dashed in. "I haven't looked yet," Chris replied. "Well, come on," Ryan said. He got ahead of Chris and walked toward the bookshelves. Suddenly he froze. "What's the matter, Ryan?" Maria asked in a shaky voice. "Spider webs! Pooh, phooey, yuck! I hate spider webs, Ryan said. He started wiping the sticky webs off his face. Maria, Jenny, Dee Dee, and Sammy all started giggling. Ignoring them, Chris walked over to the window and looked outside. Hey, Maria, look at this! Maria ran over. What is it? You can see the cross perfectly from here. Great-grandpa must have donated the money for it, maybe so he could see it whenever he looked out from his study. But it still doesn't prove anything, Maria said. After the spider webs had partially been cleaned out from around the bookshelves, the Shoebox kids searched every inch of the room. Chris, Maria, and Ryan even looked underneath the shelves as well as on tops of the shelves and at the wood around the windows. Ryan seemed to be most disappointed. If I wanted to hide a combination just in case I forgot it, I'd carve it into the wood somewhere, he said. I guess it's not here, Chris sighed. After so long, who knows where it could be? Maybe it's lost forever. Suddenly, Sammy ran to the door. Did you hear that? His face turned white. I think Willie's in trouble. Just then, everyone heard Willie yell from downstairs.
The story you have heard today is a chapter of the Shoebox Kids, Book 4, The Missing Combination Mystery, written by Eric Stoffel, edited and created by Jerry D. Thomas, and used with permission from the Pacific Press Publishing Association. If you're interested in any other books published by the Seventh-day Adventist Church, please visit AdventistBookCenter.com or call 1-800-765-6955.
This podcast is a production of the Carolina Conference of the Seventh-day Adventist Church.